It began as a routine distress call. Captain Reed Walker sent his coordinates, then everything went silent. He woke inside the twisted wreck of his ship. The air was thin but breathable, his rations were intact, and the radio still worked. A message returned from Marsport. Rescue would arrive in 6 days. 6 days. Enough time to rest, recover, and wait. He spent the first day exploring the small planetoid. Nothing moved except dust. The horizon glowed faintly gold, and the silence was so deep it felt alive. Reed told himself he was lucky, uninjured, supplied, and safe. The first night changed everything. Lying awake, he heard whispers through the still air. At first, it sounded like wind scraping over stone. Then words formed. Voices. When he closed his eyes, they grew clearer, countless murmurs, rising and falling like the sea. He sat up, heart pounding. The ship stood silent. The wind had died. Still, the voices continued. By dawn, they were gone. The second night they returned. Louder. Distinct. 2 voices led the rest. One deep and proud, calling itself Orin, the other cold and sharp, naming itself Thal. They spoke to each other, not to him. They argued. They fought. They claimed the same thing, his body. Reed tried to stay awake. He brewed coffee, read from an old book, even sang aloud just to hear a human sound. He wrote down every hour of the day to prove to himself that time was still real. But exhaustion began to win. Each time he drifted, the voices returned. They no longer whispered, they shouted, clashed, filled his skull with the sound of war. He saw flashes of armor and banners where there should have been darkness. His mind was no longer his own. By the 4th day, he was trembling. He had not truly slept since the crash. The air felt heavy, the light too bright. He stopped trusting what he saw. He realized the truth too late. The planet wasn't dead. It remembered. 2 ancient armies had fought here until nothing remained, except their minds. They had waited for a living being to arrive, to carry their endless war again. Now he was their battlefield. Reed shouted into the wind, demanding they stop. His voice echoed and came back as laughter. He tried the radio, dead. He tried reason, useless. By nightfall, he made a choice. If the war existed only inside him, he could end it the same way. He took the small pistol from his emergency kit and looked at the horizon one last time. When the rescue ship landed 2 days later, they found the wreckage, the radio, and a single notebook. Inside, a final line was written in uneven letters. They're still fighting. Then silence.